This is the Tom London Show, number 40. Step inside for some talk for the next 60 minutes. Hello, and welcome to the show. It's good to have you with me. Soon the London gang will be pulling into the comment section down below this video on Facebook and on the side in YouTube. Hello to you if you're watching on YouTube live or after the live show. We appreciate you pressing the play button on the Tom London Show. If you're part of the Facebook viewership watching after the fact, thank you for pressing that play button, and thank you to the London gang who join us every night, 9 p.m. Central Africa time. Now, what is the London gang? We're still new, so I think I still got to explain it when I start the show every night. The London gang are a group of people who believe in kindness, who believe in supporting each other, who believe in giving each other encouragement, who believe in sharing positivity and support, are all part of making good friendships. And that's what we do on the show. We make good friendships, and we do it by you joining us on the live show at 9 p.m. or going along to the London Gang group on Facebook. You just search for London Gang and you'll find the group, join the group, and then you can make friends and be friendly towards other people and have friendship in return any time of the night or day. That's the London Gang group on Facebook. That's how you get the friendships going. And that's what we're up to here. We're building friendships. So let's go to the comment section and see what you have to say. Shell Green out of Australia says, good morning all. Helen Mitvoch says, hello Tom and the London gang. Lil Cook joins us out of the UK and says, how's it? Helen says it feels like a Friday. It does. I keep thinking tomorrow's the weekend and it's not. Lee Barry's on board and Lee says, hi all. Barry Bowditch says, good evening, good man and the gang. Hello Barry. Patricia Ann Skoltz out of Cape Town says, hello all. Henrietta Cortez joins us out of Denmark and says, how's it all? Long time no see. Good to have you with us, Henriette. Robert Bruce Naismith says, hello. Hoe gaan dit? Yeah, all good, Robin. Yourself. Hope you've had a good day, man. Helen, here it is Friday. The magic of time zones, eh? Over in Shell's part of the world, it's already a brand new day. Now, tonight I'll be playing you the video. You may have seen it on YouTube or Facebook already. We released it today. Garth Taylor's It's Christmas Time. But I play it for you. We'll create a bit of a moment tonight with that. I've got a couple of topics up my sleeve, but I also wanted to know what you've got to say. What's on your mind? What do you feel is important enough to talk about on the show tonight? It's an interesting time, at least in South Africa. If you're watching from overseas, then South Africa closes down today, basically. If I'm not mistaken, tomorrow's a public holiday. I've got no idea because I pay zero attention to public holidays. I don't know one public holiday from the next. First time I normally realize it's a public holiday is when people tell me, oh, do you know today's a public holiday? Huh? Because I don't have Monday to Sundays. I don't have structured weeks like everybody else or people with jobs. 9 to 5, Monday to Friday jobs. They know what the weekend's all about. They know when the public holiday is coming up. Some are so good they schedule their leave so that they actually only have to take 2 days leave and they get like 10 days off. I don't know how they do that. Magic. But I don't understand that world. So if it is a public holiday tomorrow, you'll probably know before I do. Karen Eva joins us out of Irene, Pretoria. Gaynor Alice Bentfield Schulenberg says, hello Tom and the gang. Who else we got here? Josie de Oliveira says, hi Tom, it's and all the beauty peeps. How's it, Josie? Good to have you with us. And Barry says we should be talking about aircraft. Yeah, I know, Barry. Man, I can talk about airplanes and flying an aircraft till the cows come home, but I'm not sure that everybody wants to talk about airplanes all day and all night long. I do it. I can talk about anything when it comes to airplanes, from gliders to microlights to LSAs to single pistons, piston twins, turboprops, jets, light jets, medium jets, you name it. I'm obsessed, man. What is it that makes you obsessed with something? And I wonder whether this is something that, we all have, or whether some people have an obsession and it just never leaves. Whether that's a unique thing to some people and it makes it them unique, or whether we all have a particular obsession that we can't let go of and it just stays with us through life. I guess that's my question for you tonight as you join me on the Tom London Show. I know what my obsessions are. I mean, number one obsession, apart from the work I do, is aviation and flying. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. And then I've got other obsessions like sustainable energy, green energy. I'm very into that, and how that applies to cars and the motor industry. And then I have milder obsessions that I know less about, things like architecture. I'm fascinated by architecture and nature and stuff like that. But my obsession that won't leave, and the one that burns in my veins and has since I was a young boy, is aviation. I mean, radio did too, I must say. I was obsessed with this thing called broadcasting. But my twin obsession was aviation. So I'm going to throw the question back at you tonight. Do you have an obsession? It may not be what you do. It may not be what you're involved in or have ever been involved in. But it's an obsession that you've carried your entire life, and you make it your business to know stuff about it, to be interested, to keep up, to be learned. Do you have an obsession like mine? We all know Barry's also obsessed with aviation, but what's yours? As you watch this show, what's your obsession? And if you're watching it after the fact, this is just a reminder that healthy obsessions are good. They drive us. They keep us interested, keep the brain going. So what's yours? Give it a think and pop it in the comment section in this video feed. I'd love to know what your obsession is. I think that's one of the things that drives me as a human being, is to try and understand people and what motivates them. What little obsessions and quirks you've got. So let's run through the list, shall we, and see what your obsession may be. Rather aircraft than Miley. Oh, look, I could talk about Miley Cyrus the whole show as well. Saw a picture of her the other day. Oh, man. Benjamin Jones says, hello, Retrobates. I'm back. No spinning. Gym looks like a construction site. Good. I'm glad. Save yourself. Greetings to all. By the way, who is around the East Rand on Sunday morning? Keen for a day out. Classic cars, boot sale goodies, good grub, and bevies, pet rescue kits at the Piston Ring Club. Chairman's choice. Pop in. Oh, okay. And come and say hi. Thanks for the punt. Well, there we go. Piston Ring Club. If you haven't been before, you haven't been for a while, it's always a worthwhile Sunday morning. Out into the fresh air and just looking at all those great cars. The cars of our youth. The dream cars that we had on posters on our walls years and years and years back. What's your obsession? I want to know. Tell me. Helen Mitvach says, music is my obsession. Yeah. Now, I don't know whether I'd call that an obsession for me, except it is like water to me. I don't know that I'm obsessed with the structure of music, for example, but music itself is like air to me, like water. A day without music I can't do. If I'm not near something that's playing music during the day, I'll sing. And I sing badly, but I'll do that. Music, for me, there's air, there's water, there's music. They're interchangeable. Tell me a bit more, Helen. How does that obsession play out in real life? Alistair Jameson is on board. Tom, you look so tired. What's wrong? I am tired. I'm tired, man. It's been a long year. And I've got to the end of, or the middle of December, and I'm like, ugh. And it's been hot today, and I haven't been sleeping properly the last few nights, and I woke up with a headache. Do you want me to run through my list of things that go on in my life? And a busy day, all sorts of things going on. And I get to the end of the day, and I'm like, oh, all right. Everything's collapsing, including my eyes. So, yeah, no, nothing's wrong, just general life in 2023, my friend. Say it louder. No Miley, no cry. No, stop picking on Miley Cyrus now. Barry says, me too, I'm nuts about aircraft. Alistair also says, music was my first love and it will be my last. Music of the future and music of the past. Nice line, that, hey? I bought a new phone today and a slow cooker. Right. It's always nice getting a new phone and a slow cooker, I suppose, all in one go. You had a good day. You got to open some boxes, one small little box and one big box. That's fun. And if you're like me, you don't read the instructions and you muddle through it. Robert says, my obsession is English football. Tottenham Hotspur is my number one love, more than my girlfriend or Bailey, my one-eyed Pekingese. Now, I have friends who have this obsession. I have a friend who's an Arsenal supporter. You will never walk alone. Is that right? Which one's You'll Never Walk Alone? Because I know zip about this stuff. Which club is You'll Never Walk Alone? Is that Arsenal? Well, he's the supporter of that club. Because in his house, there are slogans and things. You'll never walk alone. And then there are T-shirts in frames, and there's memorabilia and knickknacks. And if there's one of those soccer team games on, then he's unavailable. You can't get anywhere near him. And I just wouldn't be able to do that for a simple reason. Because this week they win, and then you're happy, and everything's fine, and everything is just great. And then next week they lose, and my whole life is ruined. And then they lose again, and then your life is ruined again. And then they have a losing streak or a losing year. Manchester United supporters have been going through hell the last couple of years. And that's why I don't do sports. I can't do the emotional roller coaster ride that sports fans go through. But I see it. I see the obsession in my friends. Gaynor says mine is tennis. So interesting you mention that, because that's the only sport that I can play decently. You give me a tennis racket, I'm okay. Anything else, I'm pathetic. But tennis, I feel capable. And I wonder whether tennis hasn't lost its luster. I'm not talking about professional tennis and Wimbledon and stuff like that, but just as an activity. There's some tennis courts down the road here in Veltevreden Park, and I see them busy some of the time. But you know what I'm seeing busy all of the time? Paddle. Which is like what? Miniaturized tennis? Or a combination of tennis and squash? If anybody knows anything about paddle, let me know. Pop it in the comments section. I'd love to learn from you if you've been and had a paddle game, or you know what paddle is, because I just seen it. I was at a place the other day and I saw people playing paddle, and there's a lot of that going on, and perhaps more than tennis right now. So whenever I think of tennis, I think careful tennis, there's paddle coming to take you out, like T20 cricket, taking all the viewers. Barry says pretty girls as well. Well, I think that's an inbuilt DNA obsession, right? All right, Shell says she could talk about Egyptology till the cows come home, and even when they are home. That's fascinating stuff. There's a lot of detail in that, in Egyptology. Lots of detail. That's where I fall short on all the detail there. I suppose I don't share the obsession, so then the drive to learn the detail isn't as strong. But Egyptology is fascinating. I remember years back I interviewed Graham Hancock, author of Fingerprints of the Gods. And I spent about 2 hours chatting with Graham Hancock on the air. And he was quite a fascinating man, made compelling arguments and cases for the alignment of the pyramids and the Mayan temples, etc. And how that couldn't have been done if you believed in conventional Egyptology. That there had to have been an ancient civilization before that, or at least that was the hypothesis, that there were these ancient civilizations before the ones we're recording, who were way smarter than us, possibly. So, I've been down that road. I'm just not sure where I stand on it. I still don't know who built the pyramids. Help me out, Shell. Right, Alistair says, my obsession is a multifaceted beast in no particular order. 1, photography. 2, music. 3, flying. Well, it's nice to see we've got obsessions. Cheryl Verhan is on board. Hey, Cheryl, good to have you with us. Thanks for joining us. Henriette doesn't have any obsessions. You see, I think it's easy when you have an obsession to assume that everyone does, but I started this conversation by saying, does it apply to everyone? And here's someone that an obsession doesn't apply to. I don't have any obsessions, says Henriette. Rather periods where something interests me and then I need to know everything about that topic or person, and then it passes and then I get the next one. So you have temporary obsessions, you see. Intermittent or temporary obsessions. Nancy agrees. I don't have obsessions, but multi-interests. Yeah, see, we all come in different flavors. Tom, I hear you about the collapsing. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a physical thing. I'm not, I don't feel like I'm about to faint or something. But I just, the last couple of years, if I have to just be honest with you, and I don't know, once again, whether this is just me or this applies to many of us in the world, if not most of us. My suspicion is most. I just think back on the last, 2023, 15 years, I would say. And I remember the 2008 subprime mortgage crash when the American stock market just went for a ball of dung and dragged the whole world with it. And before we knew it, we had this thing called a subprime mortgage collapse or crisis in the US. And America shook, and then the rest of the world shook too, and we did too. And then by the skin of our teeth, our banking system and financial institutions managed to survive it. The popular perception is that South Africa cruised through it, but I don't think that's the truth. I think the truth is that way back in 2008, our economy was badly affected by global economic movements. And then you add to that the kind of dysfunction we've seen in our country for so long. And then you add to that COVID and the lockdown and all the effects and all of this put together. And I think it's just made for a really rough 15 years or so. And I think every year over these last 15 years, people have been going, all right, well, next year will get better. And then next year doesn't get better. It becomes more challenging or problematic or something else happens. And especially the last 4 or 5 years. And I think many people were expecting a quick recovery or a recovery over the last 1 or 2. But the truth is that the economy is not in a great shape. There's not a lot of cash floating around. There's not a lot of extra money in our economy. There's not much growth. So my suspicion is that this just wears down on the psyche of people. And this could be a global phenomenon. I don't know because I don't live in other countries, but I do hear friends from other countries talk about their challenges and problems. People in the UK talk about the very high heating bills in winter, for example. And life's not a bed of roses wherever you are. It's challenging. It can be tough. And I think that globally, certainly in South Africa, our psychology, our psyche, our national barometer of happiness is pretty low. And we're pretty tired. And it's everywhere. It's in the air. It's in the conversations that you have with people. It's in the reality of people battling to get through a month, for example, or for some people, the luxuries are off the list now and it's back to essential items. Or even people with money, and I know people with a lot of money, they'd start downscaling too. So I think it's just this whole effect of having to just compress ourselves into survival mode while we deal with economic realities. And I think that has a big effect on us as individuals. And I think you throw in personal challenges and little bits and pieces and, hard work and whatever it might be, and then it's quite easy to get, at least in my case, to the end of a year and go, oh, all right, I think I might be exhausted. All of this has been a roller coaster ride. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about my life. I'm grateful for everything. But I think it's in the air. Helen says, exactly right. Cannot do without music of our lives, memories. Some songs pick us up and some bring us to tears, but all memories love it. Liverpool. Is that Liverpool? Okay. You'll never walk alone. See? That's why I don't do sport. I'd get it all wrong. 80s advert for Technics Hi-Fi tune, The Best. I don't remember that one. I should, but I don't. All right. Bronwyn is about to board her first of 3 planes home to Port Elizabeth. Cannot wait to be with my people. Coming back home, Bronwyn Griffith. Have a safe flight on those 3 flights. Oh, there we go. Robert's also, you'll never walk alone, Liverpool, and then some very sick faces there. Please, Tom, Liverpool is that club. Don't dare mention that. You see, this is what happens. I mean, I don't take this stuff seriously, but people take it very seriously. You mention 2 teams' names in the same breath, and then you're in trouble. Isn't it Liverpool with the song "You'll Never Walk Alone"? That's true. My other obsession is Tony Hadley. Really, no joke. Okay. Now, that's not an obsession. That's a crush or a fantasy. Judah Bonatsky says, Gaino, I'm with you. Tennis is my happy place. I do like tennis. It's called pickleball. Tennis with bats as opposed to rackets. Okay, but it's called paddle up here. It's like a franchise. Padel. Shell says she loves yoga. She's not a sporty person. What's paddle? Well, paddle's pickleball, I suppose. It's like bats. It's not strung tennis rackets. It's these polyurethane or whatever bats. They're a bit smaller than a tennis racket, short handle, and then, yeah, you clap the ball with it. Yes, paddle seems to be taking over with you. I agree with you, Tom. Yeah, a lot of people I know. Paddle is huge, says Helen. I have not played yet, but yes, it's taken over tennis at many clubs in Johannesburg. More bookings for paddle than tennis. I'm on the mark on that one. You see, I've had my eyes open watching this. Stringless swing ball inside a glass box. I was wondering about the Perspex walls. What's that for? Can you bounce the ball off the wall as well, or do you only hit it over the net? I haven't been able to work that out. Is the sound very bassy, or is it my system tonight? Anybody else find the sound bassy? Almost no treble. All right, that's because I've bypassed some of the systems and the problems we had tonight. It could be that the sound settings are wrong. So I'm going to turn down the bass, and then you tell me whether that's a bit better. What Egyptology is like a soapy, like the Bold and Beautiful, says Shell Green. Tom's paddle is known as a pickleball. Don't ask me why. That's the name. In the US, there are major pickleball tournaments. How did you fix the mic issues? What was wrong? I think it's a software system, a sound card. When I disabled the sound card, it came right. But that means that all the settings changed, so that's why it might be a bit bassy. Nancy is reporting back to say paddle is everywhere in Spain. I would go as far to say has become #1 sport or exercise, great for families. You see, we got Shell Green started on her obsessions, and now she's on a roll. The ones who built the pyramids weren't the slaves. It was the pharaoh's subjects. They did it for the love of their pharaoh. They have found years ago the village of the workers that had streets. Can you believe it? Fascinating stuff. Joan says, Tom, thank you for the text because I'm totally deaf now, but still a fan of yours. Oh, really, Joan? I didn't know you were hard of hearing. But I'm glad you can see the subtitles so you can watch the show. Barry says, what makes us so tired is the sad world out there. We're on the brink of World War III, but we try our best to stay positive. Do you think that's, I'm going to try and say this without sounding like an idiot. When I worked on talk radio, I'd have friends say to me, Tom, I'm so depressed at the moment. And I used to say to them, how much radio news and news on your phone and newspapers do you consume? And they go, oh, no, I listen every hour, every half hour, and I read the paper in the morning, and I check my phone during the day, and I say, stop it. Stop doing that to yourself. Read the news in the morning and catch up later in the day if you're a news hound. But don't do this to yourself. The constant negative barrage of news. And I've been on news sites recently and looked at different things on news sites, trying to work out what the ratio is. And I know that news isn't designed to be Pollyanna stuff and distort reality. But I just think there's an overdose of bad news. Every article is another catastrophe. And if life was reflected only by the news, then it would all just be a big, big disaster. We'd all be in trouble. And that can't be the truth. It can't be the whole truth. But I do agree with you, Barry, that the world is in just an interesting place. I use the word interesting. I'm a history buff. Or I don't think, am I obsessed with history? Well, it's a mild obsession, history. But I look at all these ages we've been in, world wars, and generations ago you didn't survive past 40 or 50, or you got a headache in the days without headache tablets. I was thinking about that the other day. See, what happened in the days before headache tablets? And don't tell me, oh, they had leaves for that. We don't eat leaves to get rid of strong headaches and migraines. We get a tablet. But there had to have been a day not so long ago where you woke up in the morning with a splitting headache, a thumping migraine, and there was just nothing. Nothing at all. Zip, you just walked around with your headache the whole day. Or you bust your leg and there wasn't plaster of Paris, and then you became known as Tom with the crooked leg. So I always think of stuff like that, and I think, well, things are tough at the moment, but gee, at least I live in an age and an era where we've got headache tablets, and if I break my leg, there's plaster of Paris, and I'm not going to get called Tom with the crooked leg or crooked Tom or something like that. But it is easy to look at the world and think that we're in a mess with all the conflict that goes on. It can get very depressing. Same situation is in the air in Europe. We have to try and keep our heads and spirits up. Yeah, you see, I think it's a global thing. I really do stick by this. People are, don't go so far as say ruled by money, but money is such a big part of people's lives that when there's a shortage of it in the world, it's bound to affect everyone. And when there's a shortage, everyone's psyche is going to be affected. Everyone's mood's going to be affected. So I don't think it's just South Africa. Pickleball is different to paddle, says Juta. Okay. Pickleball is an American obsession. Kiss is on board. Hoe gaan het Tom en almal? Dis mooi om jou nog te sien. Lekker. Now, I don't know who that is. That could be Aubrey Murray, because he can speak Afrikaans, or it could be Suri, because she can speak Afrikaans. We got to narrow this down. We got to figure out who Kiss is, because we haven't worked out who this is. You sound fine, not grainy. Thanks, Tom. Much better. Okay. Paddle is played inside an let me try that again. Paddle is played inside an enclosed glass court. Pickleball is on an open court. Right. Well, we're learning tonight. We're doing a whole lot of learning this evening. Alistair wants us to know he's been an Arsenal supporter since 1972. Will never change. My dad was a Man U supporter, and we never watched football together. You see, this thing called sport. Very boomy bass on YouTube. Facebook is fine. Is that sorted out now? I've just turned the bass down. Negative news. I fully agree. I don't bother watching any news, as it's only news when something bad happens. Have you watched the latest movie on Netflix with Julia Roberts? The name just escapes me, but very thought-provoking. Helen, I was going to watch the movie, and then I saw a whole lot of really, really bad reviews on it. I'm not sure of the name, but it's the new one. And I think it was Gus Silber wrote a review online the other day, and it just was scathing. And I thought, okay, well, I'm not going to watch that. What happened to the fake doctor? Which fake doctor are you talking about? The fake doctor? Who's the fake doctor? Oh, Dr. Lani. Oh, the last thing that I heard about Dr. Lani was that Metro FM pulled him in for an interview, and then the listeners went bananas and said, what's happened to the integrity of Metro FM, that they've got this guy idiot on board, and he's already been disproven as a fraud, etc., etc. It was a big brouhaha about 2 weeks about him. But the guy still hasn't produced his medical certificate and held it up in front of a camera. That's what I would do. So, I just think he's an absolute fraud and a fake. Movie's called Leave the World Behind. My brother Nick joins us out of the bush now. I had a wonderful meal with my brother the other night and Joe, and it was so nice having them here. We sat around the table and we had a pork, what do you call it, pork chop, and we had chips and we had veggies. It was very, very nice. Good to have him around. The movie was called Leave the World Behind. It was terrible, says Brendan. Helen says, no, you must watch. And Robert wants to know, where is Tammy? I was wondering that this morning. I was thinking, where is Tammy Singh? We never saw her last night, and she hasn't been on tonight. So perhaps someone who knows and can reach out to her will do that. Otherwise, I'll get hold of her and find out where Tammy Singh is. Okay. So, should we do the song? I'm just wondering if I should play the song. I think I should. About a month ago, Garth is working on a new album which comes out early next year, and it's fantastic. The songs are just great, and I'm really enjoying watching this process. But about a month ago, I said to him, you should write a Christmas song. It's Christmas coming up. And he went, oh, yeah, I wrote one on the symphony a couple of years back. I was like, what? You wrote play it for me. So he sits down at the piano and he tries to remember the song from 6 years ago, the lyrics and the chords, and he does, and he starts singing it. And it was beautiful. And I said, you can't just have this in your head and not release it. We've got to put it out there. And so he started working on it. Started doing the production and getting the instruments recorded and, you know, everything that it takes to make a song. And it started taking shape about a week ago, like really taking shape. And I went, wow, this is killer. This song is killer. And then the last 2 days, he finished it. And it got mastered and came back yesterday. And I played it last night, and we created the lyrics video for it. And I just, you know, the music business is probably one of the toughest businesses in the world. I take my hat off to any musician who has spent 20, 30, 40 years in the music business. And I include all musicians, from the one-man bands all the way up to the massive international artists. There's not one artist in this world who can't tell you a story of woe and hard times and problems in their career. Even the ones that have made it, you find some of them, they turn around and see they've got no money in their bank account because someone took it all. It happens time and time again. And the amount of work and energy and effort that goes into this business is just incredible. But you're creating art. But you're creating pieces that will stick around long after you've gone. And through your music and through your craft, you touch people's hearts and their lives. And it's such an important thing to do. You know, we talk about the news having a damaging or negative effect on us if we consume too much of it. Music's the opposite. Music's the antidote to the bad news. Music is what makes you feel alive and that life is worthwhile. So I place a high value on art, on music. That's the stuff that doesn't disappear after you do. And I've just listened to the song last night, and we published it this morning, and it went out to radio stations and it went online. And I was just thinking, wow, this is world class. I've been sending it over to places in America today to get the Americans to listen to it too. I think that South African musicians deserve to have people, at least South Africans, helping, pushing our talent into bigger markets and territories. We need to do that. Carlos says, musician is the best life ever. I was blessed. There is something to the life that I'm sure is quite addictive. I'm just talking about how tough it can be. Somebody says that Kiss might be Tammy on YouTube. I'm not sure of that. So yeah, I think it's incredible that we have people in the world who are able to create such beauty out of notes, and Garth's one of them. So this song is fresh. It is, if it was a vinyl record, it would still be hot off the press. And I've been waiting to play it for you for about 3 weeks now, just waiting. Oh, one of these nights I'm going to be able to play it. And then maybe we can get the Christmas spirit going as we make our way towards the 24th and 25th of December. So here it is, my friend Garth Taylor, uber songwriter and producer. And it's Christmas time. This is especially for you, wherever you find yourself in the world. This is a Christmas present for you. Enjoy.
The time has come for giving love and sharing joy with everyone. And all at once, this miracles, it's magical for everyone. So forget about your troubles and be glad tonight. A special day is here land. And if by chance the one you love is far away, you'll understand. Rest assured that if you look upon the stars tonight, shining down on you, they'll see you through. It's Christmas time, there's magic in the air, with Christmas songs and laughter everywhere. Do you remember how it all began? The birth of Jesus Christ in Bethlehem. So let's hold hands now. Somehow spread the love around the world. It's not impossible to think we are all one. We are all one. Christmas time, there's magic in the air. There's magic in the air. Do you remember how it all began? The birth of Jesus Christ in Bethlehem. The birth of Jesus Christ in Bethlehem. The birth of Jesus Christ in Bethlehem.
Have you got the Christmas spirit yet? Are you in the Christmas spirit yet? Have you got the Christmas mood going in your life yet? Are you starting to feel it yet? Or is it as you get older and older, it takes longer and longer before you're in the Christmas spirit? When you're a kid, Christmas, say, yeah, it's coming. It's 2 months away. I can feel it. When you're 51 years old, you're like, oh, when does the Christmas spirit kick in, man? I was thinking about that the other day. I was thinking, when does this Christmas spirit kick in for me? And then it kicks in when I want it to. So this afternoon, when I had a bit of a break and I was cooking, I put on some Christmas music and I was standing at the stove and cooking bangers and mash and mushy peas and making a gravy, and I had Christmas songs going on in the background, and I started feeling Christmassy, and I started feeling, yeah, okay. Yeah, this is a good time of the year. It's not just a time of the year where you're feeling flat and it's the end of the year. There's that moment coming up. It's going to be a sparkly day or a sparkly night. And so I started feeling the Christmas spirit today. Have you? Have you put a Christmas tree up yet? Do you put a Christmas tree up? I don't even know the rules when it comes to Christmas trees. I've got a permanent Christmas tree that sits in the corner of this room that I call my African Christmas tree. It's a wooden Christmas tree with lights in the middle. I'll put it on Christmas Eve. When we do Christmas Eve together, I'll put it in the shot. But what do you do around Christmas time? What do you do around your house? Have you made any changes yet? Are there prized decorations that were hand-me-downs and inherited from mothers and fathers and grannies and grandpas? Do you go that far, or is it one of those little Christmas trees from Clicks? I always think they look quite sad. One little Christmas tree from Chinatown or something. One of those little green Christmas trees with one thing of tinsel around it and 2 or 3 little balls hanging from it. And that's as far as I shouldn't talk. I haven't got anything like that going. But I admire people that go to town, that, you know, they've got a box of Christmas decorations that comes out beginning of December, whatever the appropriate date is. They bring it out, and then all of a sudden the whole house is Christmassy. I've got friends that have got decorations all over their houses at the moment. I just, I don't have kids. I don't have a family running around. It's just me, so I'm happy with my African Christmas tree. But what do you do? What Christmassy stuff do you start doing now, or have you started doing? Let me into your home. Let me know what you are getting up to and what you are preparing and what kind of decorations or ornaments. Do you have anything that is absolutely prized possession, a prized possession that every year you wait to take out? There it is. Okay, let me put it on the Christmas tree there. Love it. Do you have anything like that? Let me know. All right. Thank you for the compliments on the song. He's done a great job on it. Helen says, I've got no Christmas feeling, even though I sing along to all the Christmas songs on the radio. There we go. Honesty. Robert says, commercialism killed Christmas for me. Is it just me, but I'm not seeing many Christmas adverts or hearing a lot of Christmas advertising this year? Normally this time of the year, the radio stations, TV, online, everything's ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. It's Christmas time. Come and buy this. Ho, ho, ho. I'm normally flooded with it. Now, I don't know whether it's just the algorithms and what's been served up to me online, but I'm seeing very little in the terms of Christmas marketing coming out of South Africa at the moment. Am I on the mark here? Have you seen a lot of it, or are we a bit thin on the ground when it comes to commercialism this year? Maybe that's a good thing, Rob. I love my good Tom. You're making me food, Tom. You're making me hungry. I make very good bangers and mash. If you lived with me and you loved bangers and mash, you'd be very happy about us. It's all about choice. We choose to be happy or Christmassy or in a holiday mood. I think so too. That's what I told myself today when I said, when am I going to be in a Christmas mood? And I thought, well, you got to be in charge of that, you know. You decide. You put on the Boney M. You put on the Mariah Carey. Yeah. Your Christmas tree, Bob? Did we call the Christmas tree Bob? I can't remember. I'll show you the Christmas tree. I know move or love your Christmas tree. Have I shown you that? It comes down to what your choice of mood is, says Alistair. You choose to feel Christmas or not. I choose not because I don't believe in it. Well, that's fair. I have a one-legged elf, Nissa. There's a Danish name for you, Nissa, with plasters on his face, and the poor guy is about 150 years old. The Danes do this. I know my mother did this. My grandmother did this. They had little Christmas ornaments and elves and things that were 200 years old, and they go in a box, and then they come out again at the end of the year. It's a big deal. The Danes do Christmas big time. They do it proper. Barry says, I have to admire the North Americans when it comes to Christmas lights. Yo, I spent a Christmas in America in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, when I was 13 years old. And, you know, America, and especially the Midwest, it could be snowing, it's cold. It's the kind of Christmas that you see in movies, and now you get to experience it in real life, and that's what it was like for me. And Christmas is in the air. And the lights are important. The houses with lights all over the place. And you drive around, it's just twinkling red and green and blue and yellow lights. Very, very pretty. And I remember going to visit some people, friends of ours, and they said, oh, you've got to go and see the lights at the cemetery. I don't know whether they call it a cemetery in America. What do they call a cemetery in America? Was it? I think something like that. I was like, what? Yeah, the Memorial Park. So what do you mean the Christmas lights? So that's where the Christmas light display is in Cedar Rapids, Iowa every year. It's at the cemetery. So one night we all piled into the station wagon and we drove off to the cemetery. You can't make this stuff up. And there, snaked around the tombstones and in the trees, were colored lights and string lights and all sorts of decorations in the cemetery. And so there was a stream of cars, all of us driving through the windy lanes of the cemetery in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Marion, Iowa, looking at the Christmas lights in the cemetery. There's a memory for you. You got any memories for me? Lil says, yes, Barry, lights are big here, obviously. I have a bag of Christmas stuff, says Shell. I have a little Christmas tree, A stocking for Molly magnets on the fridge and naughty elves on the bookshelf. There we go. We can see what Shell's house looks like now. Like your shirt, Tom. Yeah, I liked it too. Bought it at Cotton On a couple of years ago. I just thought, well, Polaroid. What a brand. Oh, the Venus flytrap. The Venus flytrap I was worried about a month ago. But then it does this every year. It flowers and it gets pretty thin. It gets all skinny. It looks like it's going to die, and then it revives itself. And it's in the revival phase at the moment. Eskom goes into cardiac. I was surprised because I thought of using the oven tonight, and the oven's the only thing in my house that goes off when the power goes off. So I looked at Eskom's push or whatever it's called, and it said no load shedding. There was this green block, and I was like, huh? Something wrong. When there's no load shedding, that's when you get confused. Do they know it's Christmas? Band-Aid makes me cry every time I hear it. That was a great track. Eskom goes into cardiac arrest when they see Christmas lights in the America come on. There we go. Spoke the afterlife have to celebrate too. All right, that didn't quite understand that one. Yeah. Christmas, eh? I'm looking forward to this Christmas Eve dinner we're going to have on the 24th, if you're available. We're going to time our dinners. We eat at the same time, and we'll bring people on, and we'll do some Christmassy stuff. So if you're in the Christmassy mood, or even if you're Alistair and you're not really in a Christmassy mood, but you want to hang around and you don't mind listening to some carols and we eat together, that's cool by me too. You don't have to be fully in to be in. On the 24th. I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to put some structure into it, and we're going to enjoy a night where we just spend some quality time together and practice kindness. That's my objective there. So yeah, whatever's on your mind, pop it in the comment section down below this video. I'd love to know what's going on in your head. You drive the conversation for the next few minutes. We've got about 13 minutes before the end of the show. So you can drive a topic, you can drive the conversation with a thought or a word or a question, whatever, or a statement, whatever it might be. Pop it in the comment section down below the video, and I'll run with it. So I'll take it from there. I got to tell you, I've had something on my mind the whole day. Well, the whole afternoon. I've got a friend, a lady friend, and she's just a friend. So don't get any ideas. She's not an ex-girlfriend, or nor have I been romantic with her, nor have I flirted with her. She's a friend. And I haven't seen her for a long time, like 15 years. But we chat on the phone quite frequently, and we're always, how are you? And this is happening, and we share info on our lives. And I enjoy my conversations with her, and she's a friend of mine. But I haven't seen her for a long time, and we only caught up with each other about 6 months ago or so. And today, I was chatting to her on the phone. I got to tell you, let you in on this. I was chatting with her on the phone, and she said, why don't you come and visit me on Saturday? We'll just chill and laugh and chat and have a good time. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. That sounds like a good idea. And then she said, bring a swimming costume because we can swim. And I was like, a swimming costume? I even said to her, no, I'm too shy for that. I'm like too shy. Just haven't seen someone for 15 years, and now I'm going to run around in just shorts. And I don't know whether that's weird. I've been thinking about it the whole day. About this thing about getting into swimming costumes and swimming around other people and stuff. And only being in my shorts. I told her this, and she said I was being silly. But I don't know. Am I the only person that goes through this? This has been a thing that I remember from when I was a kid. Whenever people jumped in the swimming pool and there was a big swimming thing going on, especially strangers, I'd always be, I don't know, I just think I'll just stand here and like keep all my clothes on and not run around like, with family and friends and in my own place or good friends, or I'm like cool. But as soon as it's a strange environment, I get very shy. I get shy about running around in a swimming costume. Even on a beach. You find me with a t-shirt on most of the time in my swimming costume. Sometimes, take it off. But when I walk back from the beach, I put my t-shirt back on. It's just this habit I've got that's been there since childhood. But it was brought home to me today when I got this invite to say, hey, come round and visit. We haven't seen each other in 15 years or so. I was like, yeah, I'm in. And she said, swimming costume. I went, well, I don't know whether I'm in anymore. And then the whole afternoon, I'm like, Tom, are you being silly here? Maybe I'm being silly. I don't know. It's like people say, oh, come to my house. We're going to have a swimming party. I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm going to be having a swimming party. You mean a whole lot of people I don't know, and then I'm going to be jumping in the pools? I'm not sure about that. That's how my brain is wired. I suppose I could go and talk to someone about it and then become someone that doesn't mind, and everything changes. But I quite like me the way I am. I'm comfortable with that. Just today I'm wondering, am I being too silly? Should I take my swimming costume on Saturday or not? I will go visit her. I just don't know whether to leave my swimming costume at home or take my swimming costume with. Because if I leave my swimming costume at home and then I decide to swim, I have to swim in my underpants, and that's even worse. So I'm stuck in a catch-22 here. What do I do? Help me out, London gang. How do I deal with this? Do I take a swimming costume with this weekend? Or do I leave it behind? But what if I go and then I decide to swim and then all I got are undies? Then it's even worse. Carla said, I'd love to watch the Christmas show. I'll be in Cape Town celebrating with people. That's cool. We'll be catching up with you in the new year then. With the lights in the cemetery, I suppose the afterlife celebrate Christmas too. It must have been something like that. I was too young to understand the connotation. She'll need sunglasses that day. You see, now when you say that, I'm like, okay, you see, Alistair knows. Don't do this, Tom. You haven't got a tan. Body's all white, flabby. Alistair's pointing me in the right direction. I hope you're pressing the like, hearts, and ha-ha buttons, by the way. We do need your support. No, I'm with you on that one. Maybe it's just you and her. It is just me and her. That's what makes it even more terrifying. I don't have the comfort of people I know. So, all right, well, there are 4 of us that I know, and we're all in swimming costumes, and there's her. It's just me and her, I think, unless she's inviting someone else. But I think it's just me and her. I don't know whether to. I honestly don't know what to do. I started saying, all right, I'll call you later and let you know. And she was saying, no, tell me now. And I was like, no, I'll call you later, let you know. I've got to figure out what I'm doing this weekend. Well, what do you mean, what are you doing this weekend? Are you working this weekend? I was like, I don't know if I'm working. And the conversation went there, and I was just trying to dodge the swimming costume thing. Oh, I was the same, says Gaynor Schulenberg. Pool parties are great icebreakers, says Nancy Wemers. Yeah, I suppose so. Tom, I don't like swimming in strange environments because you never know if the owner had put stuff in that turns the water pink when you take a leak in the pool. No, I wouldn't do that. I'm not gonna pee in a pool. Henrietta Cortez says, I'll be there on the 24th. Give me a call and then we virtual shortly. Love seeing everyone today. The lady making the trip to South Africa via 3 flights. Have a good trip. Tom, take your costume, then at least you have the choice. Ciao for now, guys. See, there's practical advice. Ciao, Henrietta. Take it, then you decide how you feel when you get there. I suppose so. Kiss says, I can't swim with a budgie smuggler, take the costume. Oh, you can't swim with a budgie smuggler, take the costume. Start by wearing shorts that you can swim in, says Alistair Jameson. Is that how I deal with the situation? Shell says, no, you're not the only one about getting all shy. I've always been like that. See, you're not being silly about getting into your togs in front of strangers. Well, take your togs and go from there. I'm getting the same advice from everyone here. Audrey says, take them with you and leave it in the car. Check it out and then you decide. All right. Carlos says, I visited a nudist farm. That was interesting. You can't be shy. I've never been to a nudist farm. Once I skinny dipped with people I didn't know. I was a young kid and 4 of us decided it would be a good idea to go back to the house and skinny dip. And everyone got shy, and I got frustrated. Like, hold on a moment, I've got all the way down to my undies here, and now you're all getting shy, so I just took everything off and jumped in the pool. I do have that thing where I can just go over the edge and I'm cool. But that was the one and only time I was nude around other nude people. I don't think I'd be able to do a nudist farm. I mean, if I'm worried about going to a friend and taking a swimming costume along, can you imagine me at a nudist farm? That would not be a good thing for me. I had an uncle who used to do that. Nudist farm. You just get skin cancer from that. That's the problem. There's a skin cancer risk when you go to nudist farms. Nudist farms. Yeah. I went to a nudist wedding once. Those are cool because at a nudist wedding you can tell who the best man is. Thank you very much. Ooh, about the wee in the pool, says Shell. I'd love to know what proportion of people actually do relieve themselves in a pool. You know, if there are 10 people in the pool, how many? Ask Tammy what she thinks you should do. She'll know what you must do. We can't ask Tammy unless you are Tammy. Hell no to a nudist beach or farm or whatever, no thanks. Although, I must say, despite my protestations and my attitude, there is one place I've always wanted to run across the beach nude, and that's Sandy Bay in Cape Town. And because it's such a big thing for me, like running across a beach nude is about as terrifying as parachuting for me. And but parachuting is not something I want to do. But that thing, I've always had it. For 10, 15 years, I wanted to run across Sandy Bay nude with a friend. Just go, here we go. And like run across the beach and just be nude and run across and then put our clothes on and say, we did it. But everybody I've ever asked to go with me and do this nude run on Sandy Bay, is it? They tell me no. I've never been able to find a willing participant for that exercise. Maybe one day my ship will come in. So you reckon I should take my swimming costume with me on Saturday and then see whether my confidence builds? I'll take a bottle of champagne with me and drink some of it. That might get me there. Shell Green says, I nearly pegged out when Mum said to me, Shell, what are budgie smugglers? I nearly died. That's sweet. Alistair says, nudist colony better than a skinny dipping with friends. People you know can be awkward. I suppose so. Carlos says Sandy Bay is brilliant. Nobody takes notice of you. Yeah. You see, Sandy Bay I'm not worried about because there's a whole bunch of other people. They're just like, oh, well, we all knew them, so who cares? So I'm like, I would feel a bit safer there than skinny dipping at a pool party or something. I'd be the guy in the corner with all my clothes on sipping my Coca-Cola. These interesting contradictions and dichotomies, eh? Do we all have them? Well, I've got a day to think about this swimming costume dilemma of mine and work out whether I'm going to be taking a swimming costume with me or not. It's too late to do sit-ups now. A month ago, I said I should start doing some sit-ups and some press-ups just so I don't look, soft. Just generally, summer's coming. And this lack of self-discipline I've got when it comes to exercise kicked in, and I wasn't able to do it. And then today, when I thought, oh man, swimming costume day at my friend's house on Saturday, damn, why didn't I start doing those sit-ups a month ago? Then I wouldn't have this mental problem I've got. Because I want to look good, and I don't. Well, I don't look bad, but I don't look great. I should have started doing those sit-ups and those press-ups. Instead, I put it off till tomorrow. Too many tomorrows. Run nude along Bloberg, you'll make the news. Yeah, and I'll get put in the back of a police van and spend a night in a Bloberg police station or something. Yeah. Take your cozzy with you, says Carlos. All right, well, thank you for the advice. I'll consider it tomorrow, let you know tomorrow night what my decision is. And, hopefully I'll sleep tonight and not lay up awake thinking, oh man, what am I going to do about Saturday? What am I going to do about Saturday? What am I going to do? And this is the first female friend of mine I've had that's invited me round to her place and said, take most of your clothes off. There's that thought going on in my head as well. I'm like, is it just swimming going on here, or what's the story? I can overthink things. I suppose I can overthink things. Anyway, That's 60 minutes of talk on Facebook and YouTube for you. Thank you to the London gang for joining me tonight from all over the world. My friends, thank you for your friendship, for your love, for your kindness, and the kind of kindness and love I see you giving each other in the London Gang group. What a fantastic group of people you are. So, thanks for pressing the play button on Facebook and YouTube, and I hope to see you tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, again on Facebook and YouTube Live. We'll spend another 60 minutes together, and then we got the weekend coming up, and then I've got to take some leave, by the way. I've got to go, I need to go away and have a bit of a break, so I'll discuss that with you tomorrow night. We'll work out the leave. I don't have bosses, so I've got to ask the customers, but we'll deal with that tomorrow evening. Until tomorrow, I hope that you're feeling good tonight. I hope you've hit the end of the show going, yeah, I'm kind of relaxed now. I'm kind of calm now. I've been in the company of friends, or I've listened to some conversation, or just this voice droning on, whatever it might be. And I'm a bit looser. So I do hope that you're feeling good at the end of these 60 minutes. And I hope that kindness prevails and love prevails. Thank you for listening to the song tonight. Thank you for joining me, putting your comments in the comment section, and getting round the campfire and joining like-minded people and creating a culture, creating a community, and propagating love, peace, and friendship. That's what it's all about. I hope that you sleep so deep tonight that it's like a coma. And I hope you got enough food in your stomach so that when you go to bed, you're not hungry. And I hope you got a bit of money in your pocket, at least to get you through the next 24 hours. And I hope that you're kind to people tomorrow, and I hope that people are kind to you. And most of all, I hope you join me tomorrow night at 9 o'clock so that we can have another 60 minutes together. It means the world to me. Until then, I'm Tom London, and I miss you already.
Changer.